And we are live and direct from sunny Southern California. Say hi to the audience there, Steve.
Live and direct, you sound like Max Headroom.
Was that what that was from?
Yeah, well, it's probably from other things, but that was one of his catchphrases.
Oh, okay. All right, enough from you. Goodbye.
I think something about 10 minutes into the future.
Oh, are you still talking?
Sorry, okay, cut me
Bye.
off.
The button's sticky. There we go. Hide from broadcast. All right. Hello, NosillaCastaways. We should be live. I didn't make sure that Steve told me that is the website working right? That's come up just fine, I hope. Looks like we have everything working, and we have folks in the audience. We have Donald and Steve and Brett, Kevin, Kenny K, Kiwi Spoon, Dorothy, and another Steve for some reason. I never figure out why he's in here twice. And Alistair. He probably has a reason. Mark doesn't even bother to make his excuses anymore, by the way. Oh, 20 minutes into the future. Was that it, Ken? All right. Hey, so before we get started, I need some ideas here. Okay, this MacBook Air, I talked about this on Google+. I want you to watch what I can do with it. I can press the power button, and it boots up. Now, the root cause of all these problems are a little kid dumped water inside this 2013 MacBook Air. But it boots up just fine. You'll see it come up, except for a bunch of slime on the screen because little kids have been touching it. And I can go into the guest user, and it'll log me in, and it jumps on my Wi-Fi network. So Wi-Fi's working, all that kind of stuff's working. What isn't working is if I close the... Oh, well, actually, let me demonstrate something. Oh. It's getting into that mode again. Okay, if I go up here into the menus and I say sleep, it'll go to sleep. And I can wake it up, usually. Oh, maybe, there you go. And it wakes back up. But watch what happens if I close the lid. Close the lid, nothing up my sleeve. And I pull it open. And it doesn't wake up. It's shut down. So it shuts itself down. The other thing is the keyboard is kind of dodgy. There, see, I can boot it up again and again and again. The keyboard works, the left side works pretty good, the right side not so much. The power key, it causes all kinds of different stuff to happen. What I'm curious is whether just replacing the keyboard would actually fix it. Apple offered to fix it for $800. This is a friend of mine's machine. So anyway, if anybody has any ideas of anything else I can try with it. It's been about a month and a half since the liquid got poured in it, so... anyway, still trying to think of what to do. All right, anybody watching me? Because nobody's answering me. Not even Steve. Steve, write an answer so I'm sure people can hear me. Okay, Steve is there. Sounds like the keyboard may not solve the issue. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. But the fact that it boots up, I did try an SMC reset just in case that was a problem because it seemed to be kind of power related, and then I tried a PRAM just for fun, but that didn't work. Just so close it. Duh. Nice. Well, you also can't type on the right-hand side of the screen, but works with an external keyboard, so it's a nice little desktop now. That's about it. All right, let's go ahead and do a test recording, see how things are sounding. Steve says, all right, Alpha Geek Radio. We got 7 listeners in Alpha Geek Radio. It's coming along. $800 expensive keyboard. Yeah, really. You can buy these used probably less than that. Well, not really. It's 2013, so it's pretty new. All right, here we go. Let me do a test recording. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. And here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. All right, that looked like everybody could hear it. Playback is good from Steve. Kiwi Spoon, yeah, the external keyboard works just fine. So, but again, shutdown is problematic. Serious delays. Oh, shoot. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and start this show. Team Band Alpha Geek Radio hasn't heard us before. This is a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. You're watching the creation of a recorded show. So this is live, but you're watching me create the recorded show, hosted over at podfeet.com. Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, April 5th. Okay, she stumbles on the opening line. Yeah, try it again. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, April 5th, 2015, and this is show number 517. Well, before I dig in, I want to warn the live audience that we will be recording this coming Saturday night instead of the normal Sunday night because Steve and I are going to the National Association of Broadcasters in Las Vegas, otherwise known as NAB. We're really looking forward to it. We've never been before, but Chuck Joyner and Dave Hamilton convinced us that it's a recording gadget love fest and we should go. I got to say, Chuck did warn me not to bring my checkbook because this one could cost me with the stuff Steve's going to want to buy. Don McAllister is coming too, so we haven't had a chance to miss him since we were together for a month in India. And finally, Joseph Nilo will be there. I'm not sure if you know Joseph Nilo, but he was one of the original 4 Mac Roundtable folks, along with Tim Verport and Adam Christensen and Steve Stanger. We've only met Joseph once at a Mac World, so we're really looking forward to seeing him again. He's a really, really nice guy. If anyone else listening will be at NAB, be sure to let us know. I would love to get a chance to say hi. Well, it's been a busy week of appearances on other people's shows. On April Fool's Day, Tom Merritt had me on the Daily Tech News Show. I'm sure it wasn't because it was April Fool's Day, but we did a little bit of a twist on the news. Not joking, but instead of doing all the U.S.-centric tech news, every tech story started outside of the U.S. In one case, we started talking about smartphone penetration in Kenya and then realized that it's better than in the U.S., so that was kind of embarrassing. Anyway, the main discussion topic was about Microsoft's increased efforts in accessibility. Check out the podcast at dailytechnewsshow.com, and of course, there's a link in the show notes directly to the episode I was on April 1st. Secondly, Chris Ashley of the SMR podcast asked Terrence Gaines, also known as Brother Tech, and me to join him for episode 250 since Rob and Rod were both out of town. We chatted a bunch about the new MacBook, more about Microsoft's Accessibility Developer Hub, the new Surface 3 for Microsoft, even though Chris is going to buy his wife one with only 2 gigabytes of RAM, which I consider wife abuse. And let's see, then the boys droned on and on about some music service from Jay-Z. I'm not really sure what that was about because I was editing photos while they talked about music. I completely tuned them out. In any case, we had a great time, so you should go check out the SMR podcast at smrpodcast.com and look for episode 250, The Dream Team. All right, let's get into the show. I suspect this will not be the last time I say this, but I forgot one tech story from the trip to India. Let's back up a little bit first, and I'll give you some background on why this might be of interest to you. The iPhone 6 was the first time I chose not to go with indentured servitude to AT&T and avoid having a 2-year contract. I did it for me and my 2 kids because I wanted us to be able to take our phones on international travel. Lindsay was going to Mexico, we were going to India, and Kyle just got to come along for the ride just in case. Oh, actually, he's going to Bora Bora, so maybe he could use it too. I also did it to save money and to have the freedom to dump AT&T anytime if they ever made me angry. When we arrived in Dubai, the group collectively decided it's too hard for just the 2 to 3 days to go looking for SIM cards there. Raleigh had made arrangements in advance with Verizon to have a tiny data plan for an international travel rate at an exorbitant rate, and he was able to use it in Dubai. He was very good at sipping tiny bits of data, like he'd open a Maps application for just a few minutes and then shut data right off. I didn't want to pay AT&T for that, though. I wanted a cheap way to still enjoy my device, the way everybody else does when they go on travel. So off to India after a few days in Dubai, and we made the tour bus driver stop in Delhi to find us a SIM card. We stood around for a while he went into several telecom stores, but in every case, he said no one had the nano SIM for the iPhones. I was really bummed. It was not like I really needed to be on data during the day, since we had passable internet at most of the hotels at night, but I'd gone way out of my way to pay full price. I wanted to use it. But that's not actually the story I want to tell. After spending a week or so in the northern central parts of India, Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, and Ranthambore, we headed way, way east to the state of Assam. Now, I'm not good at geography, so I'm going to assume that you don't know where Assam is either. Most of India makes this big diamond-shaped area with which you're probably familiar. But if you go over to the far, far east side of India, you run into Bangladesh. Just north of Bangladesh is a tiny sliver of land that's still India called the Siliguri Corridor. Apparently, it's also called the Chicken's Neck. That leads to the state of Assam in the east, which is still India. It's almost strangled off from the rest of India. All right, why am I giving you a big geography lesson? It's because it's important to know that this part of India is bordered by countries that are having all kinds of territorial disputes with each other. The only subject with which I'm worse than geography is the study of geopolitics, so forgive me if I don't get this exactly correct, but what I understand is that between Tibet, China, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Myanmar, the state of Assam is worried a lot about people fighting with each other and terrorism and stuff like that. Sure didn't know that when we signed up, and luckily we did have a very, very peaceful journey and everything was lovely. However, this concern has led the government to restrict access to cell service in the region. That means that A, Raleigh's Verizon World Phone capability was simply disabled in the area. B, even our guide had to carry a special SIM card that only works in that area. And C, we could not acquire such a SIM card for ourselves because it's restricted to people who live here. Or live there, I should say. The bottom line is that I can still if I'm in the mood in the future. They're doing really good right now. Got a good rate, doing great. And I did save a lot of money by paying full price, but I did not get to use my phone overseas at all. Maybe I'll plan a trip to Canada or Mexico to get to use it. I don't know. Alistair says we need to go back to New Zealand so I can use it. Anyway, that is my tale of woe of how politics ruined my cell service. All right, what did I miss? Let's see. Oh yeah, Steve cheats. He's actually in the hangout with me, so he gets it instantly. Joe, the guy lives in the mountains. Yes, I think he is, Kevin. Delay improved by using Chrome. Yeah, the liquid was water, so you shouldn't think that would be the worst thing. I hear he's. Oh, Lindsay's in here. Hi, Lindsay. Did you see my Facebook post? Dad let me have the last grapefruit sculpin. Say hi to Lindsay, everybody. That's Ghibli's is Lindsay. Yeah, I think he's up near you, isn't he, Kevin? Let's see. You have a dead short building, then Steve, only a matter of time before things get worse. 800 a lot, but that way can be sure will fix all the problems. Oh, bummer. I don't want that to be the answer. I want the answer to be, well, if you just shake it real hard, it'll fix it. Somebody suggested I put it out in the sun, and I did not do that. But or no, I actually ended up doing it. But I said, it's been a month and a half. And they said, well, maybe something's just not dried out. That didn't work. I tried air blowing all around, down inside the fans, up under where the power switch is, and stuff like that. All right. Let's see. Last week I talked to you a lot about the tech on the trip, but I did have one more story I wanted to tell about it that I saved till this week because we had way too much content. And this is actually a standalone iOS app review, so it works out pretty well. While on the trip, we were having to convert money from different countries as often as we were changing time zones. Don McAllister was using an iOS app called Vert from, let's see, how do I pronounce this? Caluma.com/Vert. It's CALUMAA.com. In any case, of course, there's a link in the show notes. Now, a money conversion app doesn't sound a bit interesting because just about anybody can do that, but this one does so much more. Vert, short for convert, is designed to convert, get ready for this, acceleration, angle, area, cooking, currency, data size, data transfer speed, density, energy, force, frequency, fuel consumption, illuminance, metric prefixes, power, pressure, radioactivity, speed, temperature, time, torque, typography, viscosity, volume, volumetric flow, and weight. But wait, there's more. It even does clothing conversions, including bra, cup, and band sizes, hats and caps, shirts and blouses, shoes, and suits and dresses. All alone at the end of what it can do is a category called Other, and there's one solitary conversion, rock climbing. All right, I defy you to find something that you need to convert that is not in this list. Let's dive into one of these categories so I can walk you through the user interface on Vert. We'll use length since that one's pretty easy to explain. Vert has two columns of units with the conversion happening from left to right. In the middle of the screen, two units will be highlighted in a very pleasing red with white text, so it's super obvious what you're converting. You simply scroll with your finger to set the left and right columns to the conversion you desire. For example, I could scroll the left column to where it says 0 yards, and on the right column have it say 0 meters. Below the columns, there's a numeric keypad where you can type in the number you need to convert. As I type in 10, for example, the left side changes to show 10 yards, and the meter side changes to say 9.14 meters. All right, easy enough. What if you want to convert in the other direction? You don't have to scroll both sides to flip them. There's a chevron pointing from left to right, so simple tap flips it the other way, so now it shows that 10 meters is 10.94 yards. Just within length, there are 35 different units between which you can convert. Seriously, we've got hectares in there, parsecs, light minutes, fathoms, nautical miles, chains, whatever those are, and hands for measuring horses. Pat Dengler would like that. Anyway, it's crazy. But here's where the elegance of the app comes in. You'd lose your mind if every time you wanted to convert from chains to parsecs, you had to scroll through 35 units. Once you find the ones you want to use often, you tap on the tiny little star to the right of it. Then down next to the keypad, you can tap on the big star, and the list is instantly filtered down to just the ones you like to use all the time. Want them back? Deselect the star, and you're back in a sea of measurements. The keypad also lets you do math along the way. Here's an example. We wanted to tip the same on our trip for the driver and the assistant as everybody else. It was suggested that we tip 300 Indian rupees for the assistant and 500 Indian rupees for the driver, times the number of people, times the number of days. But we only had US dollars, which luckily they would usually accept, but we needed to figure out how many to give them. Well, 100 Indian rupees was 1.6 US dollars. By the way, I should mention, Vert downloads the latest currency conversions when you've got an internet connection, so that was really cool. It was always up to date. With Vert, I can type in 300 for the Indian rupees, which is converted automatically to 4.8 US dollars. But then I can type times 2 for the number of people, times 3 for the number of days, and the US dollar side updates to $28.78. Super handy, so I could be doing math and it's converting all at the same time. If you don't need this calculator section that also has the star in it that I mentioned for the filters, you can simply swipe down to get it out of the way, swipe back up to bring it back. When you launch Vert, it tries to connect to the internet to update the currency section to the current exchange rate. In our case, this might have been off by a bit because we had no internet, of course, but it's there when it can work. When you're in the currency section, a simple tap of the location button and the currency for the country you're currently in pops up to the top. Now, that didn't help me much because I didn't have any internet connection, but it might when you're traveling, because maybe your cell phone will work overseas like mine didn't. Anyway, it's a cool idea anyway. Switching between measurements is as easy as a sweep in from the left. Swipe from the left again and you have access to a long list of settings. You can modify the theme if you don't like the red-white color scheme that they start with, but I think it's really pleasing. I'm not going to go through all the options, but a few of the settings were really interesting. You can choose to have the units within a category sorted either alphabetically or intuitively. I looked at several categories with it set to intuitively. I couldn't really tell what they meant by that, but then again, I was really jet lagged when I did it, so not at my alertest moment. In the settings area, you'll also find a short 6-screen tutorial that walks you through how to use the app. I found that super useful. I was immediately able to use it really easily. You can also turn on uncommon units. On the Vert website, they say that's included because it's fun and you'll share it with others. Well, they're right. Did you know that there are 50 million Bulgarian shot glasses of volume in an Olympic-sized swimming pool? Gotta tell you, they're right. It's fun, and you'll tell people these answers. Anyway, there's a free version of Vert called Vert Lite, but it doesn't include all of the categories of measurement. It would be a good way to find out if you like the elegant interface as much as I do, but if you want all the conversions, you're going to have to shell out the grand total of $3 for the Pro version. If you appreciate an elegant interface, I think it's well worth the money. Plus, it's a universal app for iPad too. Check out the link in the show notes in iTunes or on their website at kaluma.com/vert. Crazy Kate from Wales? Steve tells me Crazy Kate's back. Kate, where you been? Hey, girlfriend? I can't pull that off. It's been a hot minute since you've been here. All right, don't yell at me, but I'm done with my content for the week. It's reasonable to worry when others are... Oh, what's that? I'm reading the chat room. Oh, you big guy's been chatty again since I've been met. Ooh, your son's run off building bike trails. Is that the son that has no fear and crashes his bike from time to time? Calculator can add hours, minutes, and seconds values together. My HP calculator can do that, Alistair. You can convert. I know you can put in numbers in decimal and change them to hours, minutes, seconds, and vice versa with the HP 11C calculator that I can use on my iPhone or in real life. Kiwi Spoon. My mom says the first 56 years are the worst. It goes up every year. Oh, that's fantastic. Tell your mother that really made me laugh. That is really good. 11C. All right. Best part is I stole my dad's after he passed away too, so I have one downstairs and one upstairs. And then it's actually made my it doesn't make my home screen, but it's over top left on my there it is. Anyway, Casio. That's not even reverse Polish notation. All right, let's see. Let's do an ad here. Here we go. Last week and next week, wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. You can't say last week and next week and then use past tense. It's not going to work. All right. Last week, we did the live show on an off day. I did it on a Monday. Normally that just means letting the audience know when to keep an eye out for the video on Google+, but now that we're also broadcasting on Alpha Geek Radio at alphageekradio.com, hi Alpha Geek Radio listeners. Anyway, we have to make sure Todd Whitehead, who runs it, can accommodate our new time on our regular channel. I really should back up a little bit. Alpha Geek Radio is a collection of all geek shows with multiple video and audio channels, so you can basically fill your whole day with geeks if you want to. They play live shows whenever they're on, but they run reruns in between, so it's a really, really cool service. Last week, he realized, though, that we needed to switch from our normal Channel 3 over to Channel 1 for just that show because someone else was broadcasting at 5 p.m. on Monday. All right, no big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not hard to do, but we've never switched before. When Todd first helped me get the NosillaCast into Alpha Geek Radio, he walked me through the instructions. So you know what I did, right? I whipped open Clarify and I took screenshots as he walked me through it, and I rapidly slapped in some notes as he explained what to fill in on the different tools to get this to work. After I got off the horn with him, I cleaned it up, drew arrows and boxes around stuff on the screenshot so I wouldn't forget, fixed all my typos, and published a tutorial for him to give to other people, and I saved a copy for myself. Well, he was super happy that I'd done it for him and super interested in how Clarify worked. He watched me do it. Was like, oh man, this is awesome. I got to get this. Anyway, it turned out to be immensely useful to Steve and me when we moved the show. All I did was open up the document inside Evernote. I was able to jump right to the settings I needed to change to accommodate broadcasting on Channel 1 instead of Channel 3 on Alpha Geek Radio. If you use Clarify to easily make fantastic tutorials, you can A, help other people, B, get them to stop asking you over and over again how to do the same thing, and C, even help yourself if your memory is as bad as mine. Check out Clarify over at clarify-it.com and tell them who sent you. No, not Todd, me. I'm the one who sent you. I'm the one who told you, right? All right. Time for a little chit-chat music. Okay, Kevin, cover up your ears. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Putting in the jingles. Why am I all of a sudden? There we go. 44th Street Short. There it is. Chit chat. Okay, Steve, get ready for symbols check. Are you ready? Are you ready? So you know what Bart and I are thinking about doing? We're thinking, and I've started working on it, of pulling out all of the taming the terminals and making a single, making them downloadable so that people could get them probably from Bart's site. And just play them like if you just wanted to know the whole Taming the Terminal series. Oh, good to know, Steve. Thank you. Okay, let's hear how that transition sounds. And tell them who sent you. No, not Todd, me. I'm the one who sent you. I'm the one who told you, right? It's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond. And we have Bart back again today because I had all kinds of scheduling problems, but it's always awesome to have Bart on the show. How are you doing today, Bart?
I am good, and actually, given that we're sort of stuck into the middle of SSH, this is a really good time to just keep the momentum going.
Good. Yeah, definitely. But we should probably start out with some security stuff.
We should. It's just a week's worth, but it hasn't been an eventless week. I'm going to start off with a security medium because I think it's going to show up on people's peripheral vision, perhaps, and it might be good to understand what the kerfuffle is about. And at the heart of it all is Firefox. Particularly Firefox version 37, which is the new update. And the first thing I have in bold at the top of the show notes is, do install this update. Just because there's a controversy does not mean that you shouldn't install the update.
Okay.
The controversy is theoretical, not practical. So it all revolves around the new technology in HTTP version 2, which is called opportunistic encryption.
Okay.
Right? Or OE. And to explain what OE is, I'm going to first say what normal encryption, so HTTPS, what it gives us, and then say why OE is not as good. So normal HTTPS encryption, when you see the padlock in your browser, there are 3 promises that have been made to you. The first one of those is confidentiality. Someone intercepting the traffic cannot read it because it is encrypted. So that's confidentiality. It's secret between the 2 endpoints. Integrity means it cannot be messed around with. So in other words, we know that it is as it was when it was sent. And the last one is very, very, very important, is authenticity, which means that we are actually communicating with the person we think we're communicating with, or rather the server we think we're communicating with. And that is what is achieved through certificates and through the certificate authorities.
Now, how is authenticity different from a man in the middle not being there?
No, okay, but none of the
man in the middle, you're getting to the
there.
right place, but somebody's in between. Authenticity is the right person's at the other end?
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can have a confidential conversation with a man in the middle.
Okay.
You think you're talking to your bank, you're actually talking to a man in the middle. The confidentiality is there in the channel, it's just at the end is wrong.
So it's confidential when I'm talking, so confidentiality would be I'm talking to you, but the NSA is listening?
Yes.
It's still talking to you. It's authentic.
Right, so if you're in an internet cafe and you were not using HTTPS, then everyone could see what was happening, so there would be no confidentiality. Okay. Even if there was a man in the middle breaking their way in, everyone else in the coffee shop could still not intercept. Just you talking to the wrong person.
Right. Okay.
And integrity is that it hasn't been messed around with. So opportunistic encryption gives you 1 and 2, but not 3. So it's not useless because it is a protection against passive attacks. Passive eavesdroppers are locked out. You have no protection whatsoever from an active man-in-the-middle attack. So a man-in-the-middle simply pretends to be the web server you're trying to communicate with. You then set up an encrypted channel to the bad guy instead of to the web server. So opportunistic encryption is useful because it's better than nothing, but it's a long way short of actual HTTPS. And so what the danger is, and the argument people are making is, by Firefox supporting this, it puts less pressure on websites to actually go the full step to HTTPS. But I actually think that's rubbish because Firefox have done the right thing. In their UI, an OE connection will show as insecure. Therefore, you're not getting a false sense of security, so it's fine. So it'll say HTTP, and you will assume it's completely unprotected, but it's actually a little bit protected. And that's fine. What would be terrible was if they put the padlock on an OE connection, because then you would have a false sense of security. They haven't done that. They've done it right. So as far as I'm concerned, no problem here whatsoever.
Okay, good.
So yeah, so basically they're under-promising and over-delivering. That's fine. You can under-promise and over-deliver. Just don't ever over-promise and under-deliver.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So anyway,
but that's sort of like saying a false positive is okay on a drug test or an illness test, and it's
the
opposite.
It's the opposite. It's like saying to someone who doesn't have a heart attack, you might have one, which is much better than saying to someone who does have a heart attack, you don't have one.
It's better, but it's still awful. I mean, if I tell you you might have cancer,
in this case, the outcome is good. So we're saying
it's not as bad as the opposite.
Right, we're actually doing encryption. We're just not telling you we are, so you don't assume we are. So we're telling you the connection is completely insecure, but it's actually a little bit secure.
Okay.
That's not bad. That's actually quite good.
Okay.
It's definitely.
It's not as good as if they
not
did it
bad.
right.
Well,
But
the
it's
only way
not
to
as
do it right
scary.
would be to make all the website owners in the world cop onto themselves, and that's not within Firefox's power. They can only make their browser do what their browser can do. They can't change people's websites.
Okay. All right.
Okay, security light. So there's a patch to Firefox and Thunderbird. You should probably install that.
I actually have not had Firefox on a machine in a very long time.
I use it each and every single day. What has vanished from my machines is Chrome.
Huh. I really like Chrome. It's my
Google
first
just wants
choice.
all of your information. As soon as you open it up, the first tab, log in here and give us everything.
Oh, I thought of you. I thought of you when on the SMR podcast I heard them say that Google has a new thing where you can pay your bills through your web browser.
Right, so I'm glad that hasn't rolled out to Ireland.
I hope they let me do my medical information through my web browser. Oh no, it wasn't through the web browser. It was through email, because obviously browser was there. But
better.
Yeah, using your email so they would be able to track all of your bills for you.
Okay, bad idea. File that one away. Really, actually, the big stuff to talk about is security news. So, do you remember last week we talked about that Chinese certificate authority that gave an Egyptian company a certificate with the power to sign certificates?
Yeah.
If they promised to be good, which they promptly didn't do.
Okay, well, Kiwi Spoon. No, the video is not looping. That's actually GarageBand going by, and then the chat room going by, because I'm not actually providing any more content for the time being. So I can do one of two things. We can hang out, and I can keep playing the show, but looking at me is not going to be interesting, because I'll be going, hi, how you doing? Or we can call it early, whichever you would like. If you'd like to get back to your family and friends, either way. What would you guys like to do? You want me to keep playing it? We'll keep chatting? But staring at me watching this, I do have maybe 2 or 3 minutes of work to do at the end of the show, but the show's an hour and 13 minutes without me helping much. I have my back, so I'll wait for you guys to answer. I'll sip my grapefruit sculpin from Ballast Point. Actually, you know what I've never showed you is what I do after the show is over. I could keep doing that. Maybe that's what I'll do. Call it early so I can get back to make sure Wingman is taken care of. Well, no, to make sure Wingman can, make me dinner. Look behind the curtain. Yeah, I could show you guys that. That might be kind of fun. All right, let me go ahead and do that, because I've got to sit here and do it anyway. So let's keep going. All right, here we go. Hey, wait, you can't hit us with bye?
Okay.
Actually, I'll let you guys hear that. It's funny. Bart tries not to say happy computing, and I don't let him. Here we go. Time travel!
Indeed. Which is great, because it's all fresh in my mind. I wrote the 2 shows back to back. They'll just flow nicely.
Sounds great.
Okay, well, until next time, whenever that is. My head hurts. Bye.
Wait, you can't hit us with bye?
Okay, until next time, happy computing.
All right, well, I'm glad I made Bart do that. There's no closure if he doesn't say happy computing. What the heck is that up with him? Anyway, all right, that's going to wind us up for this week. Many thanks to our sponsor to helping pay the bills. Head on over to clarify it.com, and don't forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com. Follow me on Twitter at podfeet. Be sure to check out the NosillaCast Google Plus community, too. I'm telling you, we have 492 people in there already. That is huge. That is a really big number for a podcast. It actually is really, really big. And so we get 8 more people. We hit 500, which I think is really, really fun. Maybe, we should do that. Anyway, if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live. Normally on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time, but this week it will be Saturday night. And join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways, like Crazy Kate did after such a long time being away. Thanks for listening, and stay subscribed. All right. Kevin, are we ever going to meet you? Steve, we're just going to have to fly to his house or something and invade him is what we're going to have to do. All right, let's hear how that sounds. Thanks for listening, and stay subscribed. All right, good. There's a chance you'll come. to the what we're talking about for anybody who's not reading along is we're talking about the Midwest Mac Barbecue. Barry Folk, in a weak moment, has decided that he is going to host everybody who wants to come in the Mac community to come to his house for a barbecue. I don't know what his wife was thinking, agreeing to that. Actually, okay, put that about there. Actually, I'm going to let you watch my desktop. Is there anything private going on there? No, we'll get that out of there. I don't see any weird files on my desktop, so I'm going to share my desktop so you guys can see what I do now. We'll go there. So Steve, just tell me real quick if everything, including your private messages, will show on screen now, Steve. So don't send any double secret messages. So let's see. Like how Barry staged the problem to be solved. I'm guessing right about there. How's that look? 17. Well, before I dig in, Barry did? Did he say the problem to be solved? 117. Well, before I dig in, I want to warn the I didn't see that. Is that on the website? Oh, there might be a WordPress camp there. Mike Potter is saying he's going to set up a WordPress camp. I owe him an email back because I haven't responded to him on it, but he wants to do a WordPress thing. I don't know what I can add to WordPress, but anyway. So is that what I wanted to do? Yeah. Hope that was the right thing. Anyway, yeah, so that might be fun too. Oh, you booked your hotel room. Brett, I think you're like the first one. You're going to be the first one in line waiting for the door to open, aren't you? In fact, you'll be at his house the night before going, hi, can I get in? Can I get in? Are you ready yet? Are you there yet? Is it time? We'll be able to talk to Dave Hamilton this weekend. We've been trying to influence Dave and Paul to get the Macworld All-Star Band to play maybe on Friday night. What day are you coming in, Brett? I hope you'll be there Friday night. Okay, I'm going to check these sections real quick because I did some mucking around. So I'm looking at the waveform. I just joined those fields together. That still looks good. Let me do a symbols check one more time because I did mess with it. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the... Okay, so that looks good. Check the end. Still looks good. Yeah, I think we're okay. All right, so I've got the end, I've got the beginning, I've got the stuff joined. Not quite. Okay. Share, export song to disk. And the trick here is you don't run compression first. You export the file, and then you put it into NosillaCast audio, and you hit save. And this takes forever. And when this is done, I'm going to run Dorothy, aka Mac Lurker's script. But in the meantime, while that's going to run, that's going to take a little while. Actually, I've never done this while I'm broadcasting video. It looks like things are a little slower than they normally are. So when I'm doing this, by the way, down here in the right-hand corner, you see this application BUTT. I always forget what it stands for, but this is the application that is broadcasting to Alpha Geek Radio. And you can see this application here, NosillaCast, is what's broadcasting to the people on the app. And then here, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there you go. And then this window is a hole in the space-time continuum. This is the broadcast window for Google Hangouts, which every once in a while I have on front, and I forget it's in front, and I close the window, and then that's when you see me go bye-bye, so that doesn't work. And then this is the live show in Audio Hijack. So this is how I combine the audio file. So this takes my microphone plus GarageBand, pumps it into Soundflower, and then separately GarageBand goes into my microphone so that I can hear it. And these two go into Soundflower. Soundflower becomes the input over on NosillaCast and Butt, and maybe in GarageBand too. I forget. Is that the sound? No, it's not the input to GarageBand. It's the output from GarageBand afterwards. So anyway, that's a little bit under the cover. So now this is Feeder, which is what I use to create my show notes. And you've been what you're looking at here is the show notes themselves. This is what I read from. But now I have to go create the little piece that just talks about what the piece that goes in the feed that you get with the podcast, not the whole blog thing. All right. Gee, this looks familiar. Yeah, Alistair, you did a flawless job of getting that show out. Okay, so number 517, and the article link will come in later when we get it done. Oh, look, all the episode numbers are different from what I've been doing lately. I forgot to tell you guys. See, it says the G-Men Takeover, Canon EFS10, ebooks versus real books. Oh, Ghibli leaving? Looks like Ghibli's did a private message to me. I don't know if I should read it. She must be saying goodbye. Goodbye, Ghibli's. Love you. Okay, iTunes author, that's Allison. We'll use text expander, expand that. We don't have a URL to enclose yet, so we're just going to put some stuff here. Oh, I need to go see what is the name. SSH file transfers. That was one thing I wanted to change. I've been saving the GarageBand, or the Chat Across the Pond things with the name of the episode so I can find it more easily. There we go. So when we go to find that, I've got that separate. Feeder confused you for a while. Oh, did it start working for you? I hope. I love Feeder. All right. So now I start writing the little bit that goes in the notes here. So you will watch me create that. I was on. Just do. All right. Copy. And we'll copy that link. And I think if I do this, there you go. And I could put _BL. I don't think I showed you this. Target _BL. That allows it to. This is converting so much more slowly because I'm broadcasting video at the same time. Let's see, let's say this week. All right. And information, New Zealand, sausage in the making. Yeah, I don't know that I told you guys that I had changed the way they were named. I think that's probably not in the notes. I should fix that. If you guys aren't listening to the SMR podcast, you really should. It is so good. Yeah, I love those guys. Just love them. Love them. Great people. And smart, fun. Very, very good. For me, I'll show just a little work I do to publish my podcast. Are you doing a podcast now? I thought you stopped doing your podcast, Alistair. Chocolate poisoning? Oh, you had too much chocolate? Brett, I cut out little pieces of paper the sizes to put them on my wrist. Which one are you thinking about getting? Can be rectified by wine, right? Let's see. I tell the story of how politics stopped my phone. That earlier. Oh, you've really tried everything. I'll give you a review of Bert from copy link. Do you guys like having a link right to the iTunes store, or do you prefer the link to the website? I kind of like the link to the website because it tells you more about it. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Here's the kind of stuff I like about Feeder. Like I can go into link here, and it already pasted it in there, and I hit command or _BL and blank, and that means when you guys click on this link, it doesn't take you away from podfeed.com. That's why I do that. want the steel Apple Watch with a black sport band. I want the 38 millimeter, but I think only the 48 millimeter will fit. Interesting. So, Brett, why do you want the 38 if it's not going to fit your wrist? All right. Okay, we'll go to in Chit Chat Across the Pond. Art takes us through Taming the Terminal. Number 31. We call it episode 31? Part 31, that's right. Geez, I've been away. 31 of N. And that's securely copying files across the network over SSH. I really like this episode. By the way, Steve, one of when we were gone, he wrote part 30 whatever of N, and he did a capital N. All right. All right. So let's see. I'll take this, copy link, come over here, securely. Let's see. There. Hit link. Is this any interest watching this, or is this watching paint dry for you guys? Okay, so this is, let's see. Let's see, Word, and double now, and it's a giant brick in the wrist. It's just backlash of sorts. Want something small. Brett had the exact dimensions of the watch, so we cut out little pieces of paper that are the right size and held them up on our wrists, and it was kind of cool because the 38 millimeter left like just a smidge of space on either side of my wrist, and the 42 was exactly the same on Steve's wrist. So it was kind of funny. We looked and went, well, those are perfect. So that was kind of nice. Also tells you how thick it is. All right. Okay. So now here's the magic of Dorothy's script. So GarageBand is finished. So I can save one more time and quit GarageBand. And now right here. So I've exported from GarageBand, and now I've got this AIF file. So this is 815 megabytes. And I'm going to go to Services. And I simply go to V3 Podcast Convert, and off the file goes. It's going to launch Levelator, and this is why the audio levels are always perfect, or as good as they can be with the Levelator. So this will run, it gets about 18%, and it goes, ooh, that's going, yeah, there it goes. It backs up. It always backs up and takes a long time. But when this is done, this is going to, her script does this. It pulls it into iTunes, converts it to an MP3, adds the ID3 tags, adds the who it's from, the fact that it's clean, all that kind of stuff, and then just shows me an MP3 file. Someday I should get my nerve up to let it also FTP it up to my server, but I do that by hand because I always want to know if it works, because so many times it doesn't. Like last week when I had to figure out why a guy uploaded 2 copies of the podcast, which used up all of my storage, so I could not upload the podcast for a little while. So that was fun, but I still liked his show. All right. I'm only an engineer. Oh, I didn't know you were an engineer, Kiwi Spoon. That's cool. Let's see. Nope. All right. Where was that? That's what I was looking for. You left out the magic part. Wait, the part where you do magic? All right, let's go. All right, we'll log in a LastPass. I don't think I'll let you see my, or 1Password, I should say. Go to WordPress. What else was I going to? Oh, I'm going to do a new. I'm going to do a new presentation. I'm going to call Password Playdate, and I'm going to teach people how to use 1Password and LastPass on the Mac. And I've decided to beta test it on some folks at the at a user group locally, so that should be fun. Oh, magical. All right, so I paste that same thing in here. So this is the same thing that's in the feed file. So that's what's going to show up in iTunes or in whatever your podcatcher of choice is, which I think anybody uses iTunes. Then I always go back and I look at, this is WordPress you're looking at, by the way, in case you haven't seen it before. So I go back and I look at a previous post. I go down to like 516. And I go and I copy all this glop from here all the way down to here. Copy, and I go and I paste it here. And then I have to remember to go in and change this to 0405, which is the date, and I have to change it twice because there's the play it in place. Just download the episode if you want. And then down here is where I will go get, oh, you notice Levelator stopped, but we're not done yet. Here's the other one. Okay, so now this is where it's gotten harder than it used to be, is I will start here, and I'll copy down to Politics Stopped My iPhone. Get this out of the way. And I paste this in. Now that I do blog posts, so now I have to go, let's see, comma H3, which of course is a text expander snippet. And I'm going to go comma H4. And I'm going to insert a link. We're going to look for Politics Stop My iPhone. We'll copy that. Whoop. Copy that. Add link. And then paste it because otherwise it doesn't leave anything in the link spot. We'll do a comma H4 is what I was supposed to say. Comma H4, and we're going to do another link, and this is going to go back to Vert, which I actually posted quite a while ago. There we go. I forgot to open link in a new tab. And we'll go ahead and say, oh, I got to copy this. Copy that, add link, and paste. All right, so now he's too scared to interrupt Allison. Oh, you can interrupt me, Stephen. That's okay. Where's Chuck? Oh, I just heard something. Oh, there it is. Oh, there's my son. I guess I should. Oh. We could talk to Kyle if you want. There he is. So do you see right there? NC 2015 0415. It's got the artwork and everything. The artwork was what gave Dorothy fits. So let's go ahead and drop this in here. And now we can go to transmit. Well, let me forget. I haven't finished the show notes. Oh, actually, no. I have a droplet. I have one called Bluehost. And it should automatically log me into my web server. Whoop. Aww. You can see my son saying nice things to me. All right. In 2007, 2008, 2009, 2012, I did not make separate folders. So now they are in separate folders. I take this up. Whoop. Oh, I'm doing that wrong. Never mind. That was the wrong one. I want my Libsyn. Libsyn is where my... no, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Hang on. Should pay attention to what I'm doing. How is this the most complicated way? This isn't the most complicated way. I've added enough pieces together. Okay, Libsyn droplet. There we go. So now it's going to log me into Libsyn. And, oh, don't start with me. It does this sometimes. Sometimes the droplets just don't work. I don't know why. All right. What are you doing, Steve?
Kyle just wanted you to know they're having an adult dinner now.
Oh, they are?
What are you having?
So our son Kyle is in his early 20s, and he and his friends have adult dinner. And adult dinner means that, you know, they sit at a table and they have silverware and stuff.
Ham,
What are
mac and cheese, Brussels sprouts.
Ham, mac and cheese, Brussels sprouts, asparagus,
Homemade mashed potatoes.
homemade mashed potatoes.
Wow, that sounds good.
Wow, we don't have mac and cheese, Steve. Now I'm hungry.
We're having ham too, but
Wow, it sounds like he's having a better dinner than I'm getting. All right, so let me see. Let me finish pulling all this down. So now, by the way, you'll notice that I FTP'd that up to Libsyn, but here's what bugs the living daylights out of me. So you see how you can see it right there in my folder? It's just going to disappear. It's going to go away, and it's not going to be there anymore. It's just going to go away. It's going to disappear, and then eventually it's going to show up where they tell me it's supposed to be. But let's see. So if let's see, can I refresh? Yeah, watch. I'll refresh this, and it's going to be gone. See? It's gone. That doesn't mean it's actually gone. That means it's now in the right place. Quit that. All right, so we can do, we're going to do this save draft. I think we're pretty close to publishing, actually. You're leaving now? Bye, Steve. Blueberry plugin plus built-in WordPress features does most things automatically. Like what? It'd be interesting to learn about that sometime. It'd be fun to sit down with you and see what I'm doing that's too hard. Because a lot of what I've done, is just because I've always done it this way. All right, if everybody's getting ready to go, it's 5:56. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Looks like people are saying goodbye, so that's a good time. Wait. No, we got to stop, and so I can wave goodbye to everybody. All right, goodbye, everybody. It was really fun having you here. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of inside baseball. So we'll talk to you later.